Let's get started.
Yeah, let's just get into it.
We're back again.
Back again.
Stay here now.
Yeah, consistency.
Me and the tree.
Yeah, like it's consistent, it's building, it's bubbling.
Feeling good, learning things.
Adding value to the community.
It's good, man. Having a lot of good feedback as well.
Yeah, and
so excited.
I'm looking forward to getting it in with our guest today.
Yes, he is an established man, been working hard in his industry, in his field, and then decided to completely switch industries. So interested to hear the backstory of baby Emmanuel.
Ciao, ciao,
Welcome.
ciao.
Welcome.
I hear an Italian accent there as well.
Only Italian, yeah. This is, you can't remove it. This is gonna stay with me forever. Doesn't matter how many language I might be learned.
Was it Buonasera?
I think buonasera, yeah. This is the time I say buonasera, yeah. So, buonasera.
Yeah, nice. Welcome to StepsITook podcast. It's good to have you.
Thank you very much to have me. This is really a pleasure for me, to support, as you just mentioned, adding value to the community. So great to be part of your podcast, indeed.
We're sure you have lots of great wisdom to share with everyone. But before we get started, we want to ask you the same question we ask everyone. And that is, what has been the best part of your week so far?
Best part of the week so far. Today is Wednesday. I signed off a big client yesterday after, back and forward, presentation, styling, consulting, revising, reviewing again. Yesterday we signed off. So
congratulations.
Yeah. So that's the best part, I would say. A very good Tuesday. Yeah.
Celebrate that.
Yeah,
one.
that deserves a clap. Big ticket clients, that's what we're talking about.
They say you need to celebrate small win and big wins. So a little clap is always fun.
Yeah,
definitely.
You mentioned clients, and we'll get on to what you do in depth in a bit. But just for the benefit of the listeners, when you say you secured a client, what is that doing?
So my business at the moment, so I'm a stylish fashion advisor, but my tendency is towards tailoring. So I have a tailor workshop here in Dubai. We do custom-made items. We do bespoke suit, handmade, semi-handmade.
Like this?
Eventually like this,
yeah. I got a wedding in a couple of weeks. I might need to come see you.
You got the suit already,
yeah.
So you took your measurement,
Okay, yeah.
So this has been my experience in the last 3 years because it's a business that I've been built up for a while. So the big client I sign is a consultancy that I do on the side with the hospitality group that they do uniform. Because this is where my network comes from. So a lot of companies approach me, they want to do uniform, but because I don't want to compromise the brand in terms of, Don Fiorito, the quality, high level, bespoke, handmade, I still want to offer a consultancy when it comes down to style, because of course, we don't want to leave money on the table. So yesterday this went through.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So before we get into all of that, let's bring it back to baby Emmanuel. Growing up in Italy. Where in Italy did you even grow up, actually?
I'm from Napoli, southern part of Italy.
Yeah,
city of pizza,
yeah.
City of tailoring. Actually, Napoli is very famous for a specific style of tailoring, construction of a suit, very light, very breathable, which eventually helped me a lot to fine tune the style I want to offer to clients in Dubai. So I'm from Napoli.
Metro station there as well, famous metro station.
I think it's the most famous in Europe.
Why?
For the art that is inside, I don't remember which one is a stop now. No, you got me out of.
I don't even know the name.
No, it's a very good because it's the most beautiful in Europe. So as won eventually a prize for that. I'll try to remember which one is the metro stop, and then I will share, God will.
Yeah, nice. So what were you like as a young...
I grew up, I'm the second of 3 brothers. My brother is for the 88, I'm 90. My little brother is 93. So in a span of 5-6 years, my mother and my father, they close all the game. I think they were trying to having a female, but then, end up to have three boys. So I grew up in a very strong, solid family. Thanks God, my family has always been very functional. My father work, in Italy, there is all those small city and villages that they celebrate a saint of the city itself. Plus there is all this market on the street. So my father used to do demonstration. How you say this? When you have an article. My father used to show how the article work. It might be something to cut, vegetable, or maybe a cloth to clean those items in the house. So he has been in television. Back in the day, it was one of the job that was very popular, I would say. My father never wanted to have a boss. Always want to work for himself. So he started from the street. Napoli is a city where you can always diversify and find a way to make money. So this is the way we've been raised up. There is always work out there as long as you want to work. For my mother's side, we have a butcher shop in the center of Napoli. From my grandfather and my grandfather, and then the last my uncle and my mother, and they took care of the shop. Plus, you open one more shop in a small city next to Napoli. So I've always been in an environment where there was always family-related business or family-related matters. I love my family. I think that's been one of the most important core and element that helped me to eventually develop. I've been always, I don't want to say I'm the black sheep of the family, but the reality, I've always been the naughtiest amongst the brother. I think with my first brother, my mother got the satisfaction with the school, with the university. Then I came and I start to, I think I had the tendency of disobey a lot to my parents. I was very energetic, very active. I had a plan to escape my house. I think it was I was 7. I had a little bag inside, the dirty cloth, laundry things. I want to escape. I always said this very savage way to be as a kid. So bless my mother and my father that they managed to hold me down until they could, because then I stepped out of the house as soon as I could. Yeah. I started hotel management school. This was one of the jobs that they, I won't say they pushed me to take, was more of a trendy / one of the school that could plug you straight away in a working environment. Hospitality in Italy is a very big sector, one of the biggest probably that generate a good amount of money for the whole country well-being. We all know Italy for the food and pizza. So it's something that we really breathe and live completely.
Did you plan to go straight into hospitality just because you knew there would be an abundance of jobs?
Abundance of job, yes. But this was the suggestion of everybody around me, my family, my uncle, other people, you should look at your cousin, he's working in this city, one is in the US, like everybody tried to push me towards a working environment. Also because, again, I had the tendency to stay a lot on the street. Napoli, it's an amazing city with amazing people. Italy itself is a great country, but there is a lot of, I would say, I can say criminality eventually very well eradicated in society. There is amazing people. There is, of course, I think pretty much in Europe, you can see that the criminality take a good slice of society, which affect eventually the first youth. That, so I was one of these guys that I always loved to be in the street. I had a very good amount of friends, between school and after school that, lead me a little bit out of the path. So they want me to, they try to manage me and say, hey, get this, you can have a good work. You can maybe, go out of the country, work there and there. So I said, you know what?
Do you think they were trying to pull you away from your friends?
100%. 100%.
Sometimes that's what it's, that's I guess that's the role of the parent, right? To kind of keep you on the straight and narrow. And
100%, but you don't know that because you're a kid and you're in your teens and you're 16, 17 and you have fire inside you. You want to go, you want to do. And then I think everything in the street look very bright, I would say, and shiny. The easy money, the sort of power that, we try to portray. Well, eventually we know that is a big fate.
It sounds like you had almost two, I don't want to use the word conflicting, but almost like, there was two sort of pulls in terms of your childhood. On the one hand, you mentioned the entrepreneurial business side of, not working for anyone. And then on the other side, I guess the culture of people in Napoli and, your family who are going further afield and going into hospitality and stuff. Yeah. How was that growing up? Were you kind of like wavering between the two quite a bit?
I learned to make money very early in my days, helping in the shop of my family or go with my father. So I learned the work was something that I want to do. I really like the autonomy of the money, but at the very same time, I think become something it might take a little bit of time. So I think I was still in my discovery stage where I want to move out of the house. I want to visit another place. I want to visit another country. And I want to start to, understand the world differently. I had a very big plan, a very big mind. I always, speak with my friend and say, we're going to go there, we do this. We open a restaurant. I had many ideas. I was very dynamic in my youth. So hospitality, I think, has been the greatest thing happened to me because truly plugged me into a work environment. And also I had the luck and the blessing eventually to work in a good place, Michelin star restaurant, 5-star hotel. And these are environments that they educate you a lot. You learn about the Galateo, you learn about the manners that you're supposed to have. You learn about the cuisine, the classic, the heritage, the beauty of hospitality. So this was a very good stage for me, a transition from a rebellious teenager to a professional towards hospitality. In Napoli, you move out of the city, people look at you like you did something brave. So I think the bravery of me moving out of my city when I was, I think 16 was my first experience out. I went to work in Venice, during the summer. My first year of school, hotel management, straight away. They asked me if somebody wanted to do a stage. I was the only one in my class who raised a hand and say, hey, I want to go there. So my mother, I remember, I can't forget. I remember I came back home. I say, hey, today they ask who want to do a stage in Venice. And my mom looked at me like she knew it already. She looked at me. She's like, that's what you want to do? Yes. Okay, no problem. The first thing she did, she teach me how to iron a shirt. Because you say, if you want to go out of my house, in Italy, there is a saying. My mother used to say, I don't want people to think that you are the son of nobody. Like when you dress a little mess. So I took a leap of faith towards this. If I want to do hospitality, I want to do on a specific level. So this was my blessing. That.
How did you find that at 16, being away from home? Obviously, you were feeling rebellious, but now you're free.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard. I mean, it was hard because you never understand that. I mean, the willingness of me leaving home was there, but then now I actually left home. I took my bag. I took a train. It was 11-hour train to go there. When I arrived there, it was completely a different environment. It's still Italy, but it's northern part of Italy, different from the south. South is much more noisy, colorful, warm. North is a little more cold. People, they're not very friendly. They don't like people from the south. It was a very, I'll say, internal cultural impact for me to understand the true reality, south and north. But yeah, of course, you end up missing your mom. After 4 months, we came back home. And then your mom cooked for you. Technology helped because I think I was in the stage 16, 17. The first phone that went out after the Nokia came out, the Motorola,
the flip phone.
Yeah, so
Motorola Razr.
Yeah, you could do the call with your mom and sending some stuff. I don't know, it was a picture or just JPEG of a shadow. But yeah, it was good. I grew up a lot. I came back already with different mindset.
Yeah,
different mindset. Even if it was a short time for 6 months, when I came back home, there was already a different level of. I think the plan start to slowly make sense.
Yeah, it sounds like you like to plan a lot. So like you're planning all these big goals, adventures that you want to do, just continuous plans. So obviously you had the plans before you went away. How did they evolve after you had gone away and then come back to your hometown? Were you like, I need to leave again, or were you comfortable being back where you were?
No, I felt, so I came back, I went back to school because I was still doing school. And then I remember I taste good money during the summer in Italy. I think my first salary was €1,800. I don't like to talk about money, but this to make you understand, when you get this amount of money as a salary all sudden, when you're 16, 17.
That's a lot for a 16-year-old, isn't it?
That's it, yeah. Why do I need to go to school anymore? And that's what happened, to be honest. I went back to school. I was working on the weekend. I was working extra. I used to do catering, gala. pizzeria shop, restaurant. I did many things. Again, as long I used to get paid for, I work everywhere, and I didn't mind to compromise on the school, I would say. And then I got rejected the third year. Then I went again the third year, and then my professor put me aside and said, look, I see you, I know where you're going, I know the place that you start to work. You have a very good work ethic. You start to understand how this work. Just pursue the career. And then I left the school. I still got the diploma later on. But I ended up leaving the school, and I left Napoli for good. This was, I was 18. I left my house with my ex, one of my first girlfriend. We moved out from Napoli, went to live in Tuscany, between Tuscany and Umbria region. Beautiful hotel, nice place, Relais Chateau, 1 Michelin star restaurant. I was director responsible of the floor. Then Napoli showed my Napolitan fire, Napolitan way, whoa, to something a little more compact towards again the work and the relationship with people. I started to understand much better, anything related to wine, the product, the culture. Yeah. I didn't want to stay home. I in my mind, I think if I look back now, in my mind I had a big plan. I always had a big plan, and I think the reality of home was always limiting me at certain degrees. So I want to expand. I want to see. I want to learn. And again, I had the blessing to then start to connect summer after summer, experience after experience. Colleague after colleague, chef. I never miss work. That's a good thing of hospitality. If you want to work, you never miss work.
It sounds like you had that work ethic from, like you mentioned, from quite early. And then to be, I think, 18 when you went to Tuscany, to be director of the floor, that's, a lot of responsibility from quite early on as well. So it sounds like you've always been someone that doesn't shy away from taking responsibility.
No, yeah, that's again the bravery that comes from my father, from my mother, from people who take chance, people who manage to stay in business for 150 years. I think my shop has been open generation by after generation. That means it's never a straight process. It's always a process that goes up and down. And I think I learned a lot, looking at my parents and my family in general. These are people that, they pull up the shirt and say, okay, it's a hands-on situation. When I say hands-on, whatever it takes. And again, my city is a city that is a beautiful showcase of a work. Yeah. You really, but like pretty much in everything, right? If you want to do something, you know that you need to put an amount of effort. And in Napoli, so you need to put your heart into it. So this is what eventually, lead me to then get promotion, get a new place, advance. Yeah.
How did you balance having the heart and putting your whole heart into it with your rebellious side? Because even in work, you might be happy to have money, but everyone has had those bosses which make you uncomfortable or stretch you out of your comfort zone.
That's the blessing of, that's to have somebody who push you to eventually, I won't say calm down, but, I think at work, I've always been little monster. Now, the rebellious thing became professionality, became eagerness, became action, speed, fast, pam, 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 dancing on the floor. This was thing I used to do, and I proudly. And then a part of this went there, and then a part went into nightlife, because then the hospitality is a great industry. You meet amazing people, but I think there is because we work a lot. Once you work 12 hours, 14 hours in a place, I think we try to find sort of escape after work, before work, during work. At certain point, you don't understand anymore where the limit is. But yeah, I met some good professional warrior, but at the same time with the very, I won't say dark side. It is a dark side. It's a side that I think hospitality is not well talking about this. So, I think there is. We know. I think the industry you're surfing into is this. Dubai is different. Europe, the market is is different than
Do you think you've dipped into your dark side when it comes into hospitality and all of that kind of thing?
My top performer in this sense, my top performance stage was when I moved from Italy, and then I went to work in London. So I moved from in London. I went 2009, end of 2009, beginning of 2010. London again, fast city. I always used to say that when people say they're tired of London, they're tired of life, because London you can do whatever you want 24 hours on a speed. And for me, I was coming from a small reality. Arriving in London, I was working at the beginning, not in a good place. At the beginning, I didn't know how to speak English. It was very hard for me to find a job. I had a good amount of people around me that helped me to, slowly start to plug me in a restaurant, which eventually, the moment I'm in a restaurant, I know how to work, but the language barrier has been a good, I think I'll say maybe a good year for me to, get up to speed. I remember I was working in Amsterdam, up to Camden Town, and I was trying to, approaching people, start to talk with my hands, the Italianity. And then this lady, she was asking me tap water. And then she asked me 2-3 times. And I was like, excuse me. She was like, can you please call me somebody who speaks English? And I was like, God, that's not happening. So I went back. I came back at 2 one night. I was with my ex. I was like, I really need to speed up my game. So we started to watch Dr. House in English, subtitle in Italian. I was reading a newspaper, I don't understand anything. Book. And then all of a sudden, I could have a proper conversation. And then from there, I was like, okay, now I have the work ethic, I have the English. I need to go and find a good place. But at the very same time, London was a city where, as I mentioned, fast moving, fast paced. I've always been passionate about house music, deep house music. I'm in the age of Eric Morillo, Roger Sanchez, Angels of Love, the good music on vinyl. So this has always been, something that I always love to do, a good house, deep house party. And London offered me this at any time, at any stage.
Any venues in London that took your fancy in particular?
Fabric,
yeah.
Egg also. But then after a while, the character I am, always, interact with people, always, make good friends. I never been part of me fighting a club, and it was never me. I was always the guy that plug group and, enjoy and
friendly.
Dancing.
Let's go to the after, that kind of stuff.
That's it. But then London, there is a good underground market, for warehouse parties. This used to be my favorite, all those strange location. This was me.
Nice. It sounds like you carried that, again, the work. It seems like there's a theme with you in terms of work ethic. A lot of people, first of all, don't leave their home country. Second of all, if they do, and they come into a situation where somebody criticizes or calls them out for not being able to speak English, some people can take that and go within themselves and give up. But it sounds like, you showed resilience and determination to be like, no, actually, I know I'm good at this job. It's just the language communication. Let me overcome that and, push through. So once you overcame that, how did you feel? Did you feel more confident when you were going into the work environment? Or?
Very much, to be honest, because again, now I could play the game the way they wanna play, And I remember I got an interview in a new opening in Victoria. I worked for Park Plaza Hotel for I think 3 years and a half almost, between London and Amsterdam. So the first place we opened in Victoria, and I remember that I shine. In my young age, I was, top performer. I had the best session in the restaurant, always a big spender. I could sell wine, I could sell food, I could sell the white truffle. And again, I was in my prime time for me. I think it was about 24, 22, 23 already. I was already a little more settled, but not very much. So this was a stage for me where I finally left the youth a little bit behind. And then I want to, start to enjoy London, because I think I arrived in London, I was make £5 per hour, 5.25, something like this. Then I end up, then slowly, gradually get 6.5, then the service charge and the tip. So I reach a good salary, weekly salary, and for me to start to have a much better life. So I want to enjoy. I want to leave a little more, the party behind, all this sort of stuff. And I remember one of the operational manager came to me and said, hey, we open a new hotel in Amsterdam. We want you to go there. I was like, no, man. Just now, I'm enjoying now. No. I said, no. Okay, think about it, let me know. I was like, okay, I'll think about it. I came back. I said, no. They came back with another offer. And I was like, no, man, I really want to be here. They came back the third time, bigger offer, juicy. And I was like, how long I need to be? Just between 3 months, maybe 4 months, and that's it. I was like, okay, let's go to Amsterdam. And then again.
Were you still with your girlfriend at that point?
No, we broke up. Yeah. I mean, she was my first girlfriend from a very young age, maybe 16, 17. And we did a lot of things together, good things, but then, we separate and bless her, yeah. We separate just for, I think it was a view thing of life and where we want to go. I always say to her, I want to put my name, on newspaper. I want to be in the best restaurant. And she was like, oh, I want a nice house with dogs and stuff. And then we start to move a little bit out of the same trajectory of life. Yeah.
It sounds like you've always had this like fire in your stomach to just get things going, whether you want to be outside with your friends on the street or finding jobs wherever you can, the fire is there. Even like Giovanni was saying, most people would feel like go within themselves if someone spoke about their language skills, but you just had more fire. Like where did this fire come from?
I don't know if it's a childhood thing. I don't like to, focalize a lot on trauma, childhood things, because I do believe I had a very good childhood, but I had to defend a lot myself because my brother is almost 190. My youngest brother is 187 and I'm 175. I always been the shorter. Everybody around me, they're always the taller. Every time at school, I was always defending myself to not get bullied. This is the way I've been, I always said it's hunger. Sometimes not always a good thing to have because then calmness is superpower. Hunger is never a good thing. It can be a good propelling towards work if you know how to manage it, but also that, can create problem. But I think for me, it's always been a sense of watch. What you want to do? You want to go there? Why you stay here? Stay home. Don't go. Why you go to London? It's cold, man. Here we have the sun. The food is better. There is not a proper pizza. All this sort of stuff. And I hear excuses from people around me that they try to project their own eventually fear on you. I was like, it's okay. We try 1 more month. Okay, I give myself 1 year. Nobody want to give themselves 6 months of proper dedication to say, okay, let me see what happened, man. Because I need to understand, because apparently if you follow the trajectory of somebody who made it in any industry, there is always a time that they didn't stop. Healthy or unhealthy, public opinion. But they didn't stop. There was something that say, let me go. An extra month, an extra day, an extra year, an extra milestone. That's eventually how you manage to have your success in any industry that you want to be part of. And I think for me, has always been the thing of watch. Being the only one who raises the hands to go, and this make you understand a lot. What people are about. They love their comfort zone. They love their place where they are. And when somebody does something that is, they don't move like they move. This is where people get bothered. Yeah. So this has been my biggest fire. This has been always people commenting, people judging, people try to pull me down and put me back, in the place I come from. This has always been my biggest fire, my biggest fuel for me to keep on.
And when you went to Amsterdam, what you said it was 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
How was that process? Would you consider it a success, the trip? Because obviously they signaled you out as someone to go out, I guess, because of the skill sets that you had in the London hotel. How was the experience in Amsterdam?
Yeah, I ended up spending 1.5 years in Amsterdam. Yeah. I didn't shoot tranche though. The first time I went, again, young guy, single, Amsterdam.
You had fun.
No, I knew Amsterdam as a holiday, 2 days, 3 days. When you live in Amsterdam, it's different. Amsterdam is small, it's a village. So the moment you enter 3-4 club, the moment 3-4 good promoter, that's it. The city is finished, you know. And it was a very good time for me. Professionally was very, very good. I remember in one day I got 2 increase of salary for a couple of the idea that I put out. Yeah, it was a very good moment for the company. We work for an independent group that just do opening, just do consultancy. So I don't know, I found myself in a situation where I remember we were in a smoking area, everybody smoking. We were discussing of what is the snack you need to put on the bar. And I was like, hey, let's do popcorn. And the operation manager looked at me and said, how much you make per hour? 11 pounds? I said, from tomorrow you make 12. You know, this has always been, again, we work hard, we play hard. This has been my dynamic always, you know, but sometimes I've always been a little more party harder than work harder. And this, it took me a little bit of time to understand that you can't really have a proper balance into this, because at a certain point, they say you can't serve 2 masters. So you end up loving one and hate the other. So then, you know, you need to understand on which side you want to be. So Amsterdam for me was a great experience. I met amazing people. I grew a lot. My style changed completely. This is where I finally find out what I wanted to do, because then hospitality now was my bread and butter. I was 10 years in industry. I know exactly, you know, what I wanted to do. And that's where I start to question if it's something I want to do for the rest of my life. If I aim to become director or hotel general manager, or maybe change the dynamic and do something else. So in Amsterdam, I got the name of Mr. Nice. All my clients used to come, you know, call me Mr. Nice. Dutch people, they're amazing. They're very fun, you know, and it's completely different of what the rest of the world think about Amsterdam, because there's a great culture, city of diamonds, city of gold. You know, it's a city that there's a lot of heritage there. And I think what they managed to do very well is to offer and showcase what the world wants, the sinful things that the world wants. But then this is just a big facade. But then at the back, there is a proper, strong, solid, rich, wealthy country. I was tired of Amsterdam. Amsterdam took a lot of me. And I remember, so I did 7 months first. They called me back to London for another opening. I opened a place in Baker Street, 106 Baker Street, healthy concept, whole vegan, gluten-free, fresh juice. I used to go there in the morning. So I started to leave the party. I joined this new concept. I was nice, you know, in the morning, finish at 6 p.m., go home, start to run, start reading books, start reading podcasts. And then after 2-3 months, they say, we have an emergency in Amsterdam. One of the managers, she resigned, you need to go. And I was like, no, she's joking. Look at me now. Beetroot juice, ginger juice. I'm enjoying, I'm running. Okay, we offer you a promotion. Again, I got promotion. I got restaurant manager promotion. I was like, okay, for the sake of the promotion, back to Amsterdam. So I tried at the beginning to maintain a healthy lifestyle in Amsterdam, eating quinoa, again, discover all these sort of things and stuff. Beautiful again, because Amsterdam is eventually there is a lot of healthy part and corner of the city. You could run on a canal, there is park, there is green, you know, everybody tall, everybody cycling. It's a beautiful place to dedicate, you know, to invest also in your physique in general. So I start, but then again, something pulled me back, you know, and then that's why I say you can't serve 2 masters. Yeah, you know, you need to make sure to have a strong separation when the separation need to happen, because maybe it could happen in my 20s, in my 24th, but you know, I think I was not yet ready to have a proper separation. Amsterdam took a lot.
It sounds like you've been a key player in a lot of the jobs that you're doing. You're always called upon for whatever reason to extinguish fires and to make everything better and make everything good. Do you even realize that? I feel like you're saying it so passively.
I think there is a little bit of, the comparison maybe to bigger professional never let me realize the capability eventually of what I used to bring into the work environment. For me it was just work. For me it was just, work. But eventually, growing, as you say. I never realized. I never like to, to sort of be good with myself. Maybe this is not a very good characteristic to have. When I say good to yourself, doesn't mean it's not about self-love. But I rarely take a moment to stop and appreciate how far I have come. Because I don't see how far I've come. Yeah. I always have something that there is a little more that I want to go. It might be a position, a career, a place, a city, a party. It's always been for me. For me, it's always been like this. Okay.
Yeah.
Do. Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah.
So what brought you to Dubai?
Dubai has been the biggest blessing that I could potentially have in that time of the year, because I was started and I was about to sign a permanent contract in Amsterdam to stay there, because this was a game they play. They sent me there with a position. They want me to be there because, whatever, I was good. They tried to block me in Amsterdam. At the beginning, I was like, okay, it's okay. I'm stay here. But then I remember I called my mom and I was like, I don't want to be here. And my mom was like, you go, then you go. I said, I don't know what to do. I don't know, like, I'm here. I've been working in the company 3.5 years. She was like, it's okay. Look, something's going to happen. Don't worry. Be faithful. I was like, okay. The day after, a manager that I met in London, we worked together, he called me and said, hey, man, I moved to Dubai. I got married. I have a good position for you. You want to come? And I was like, of course I want to come. I was like, Dubai, perfect. There is no this, and the city's clean, no alcohol, whatever. I said, okay, you know what? Regardless, it's a good experience. I worked for Jumeirah, my first company, so it was already a top experience to come. The blessing to enter straight away in a contest where, high-end luxury. So I remember the day I meant to sign a contract, I went to see HR and I was like, guys, I'm leaving. I said, but we have everything ready. I said, I'm leaving, that's it. I remember I came back home in Napoli. My mom came to pick up me at the airport. I was maybe, I'm 80s. There I was 67, 68 kilo, nice and white, good party, glamorous vibe. My mom was like, how are you? Are you good? I was like, I'm very good. I said, okay, let's go home. So I came back home. I stayed for a couple of months home. Then, just have a proper separation of what happened. All my career. I had time to focus. I had time to understand what went wrong, what went well. All this, a lot of thinking, which put me and propelled me in my next experience with a different mindset, completely different mindset. I arrived in Dubai 27th August 2015.
Oh, wow.
It was 50 degrees. Yeah, 50 degrees.
You came in the summer, yeah?
Full on.
Yeah.
Full on, yeah.
Again, it sounds like one thing I've noticed about you is, and you mentioned it very early on in the podcast, is that you're quite good at networking. You said when you're, in the clubs, you were the person that was bringing people together. Obviously, I guess you built a relationship with this manager in London for him to then call you out to Dubai. How did the feeling of coming from home to Dubai compare to going from home to London? Do you feel like you're a different person at this stage?
Yeah, completely, man. Completely. Because you at a certain point, you need to man up. It's nice to have your time where, you jiggling around a little bit. But I always said at a certain point, even the discussion I used to have with my mother and my father was like, okay, man, at a certain point, you need to start to grow, You need to start to leave the things that are not important, because for me, they were important. For me, they were part of me. This is my personality. This is who I am. But there is a saying in Napoli, if you don't listen to your mother and your father, you end up where you didn't born. So it means like you need to listen to your family advice. You need to listen to your parents. Understand that what they say comes from a perspective of the age they have, the love they have for you, and they just want the best for you. They don't want to stop you or limit you. They don't want to block you. They don't want you don't have life experience. They do want, but at a certain point, it comes down to your personal responsibility, because they don't have control over you anymore. So yeah, it was a completely different approach. The mindset was different. I was much more healthy. My mind got clear.
But in Dubai, did you still work hard and play hard?
Dubai, great. Approaching Dubai, I think I integrate myself in the community very, very early. I work hard, to be honest. I mean, I work for Jumeirah. After 9 months, I got my first promotion. So again, the work was there, the ethic was there. I felt much more appreciated. I started wearing suit and tie. It was a different level. We used to serve on shake on Friday in Peshik restaurant in Jumeirah. I found myself in a very good situation, a good meeting. Started talking about different aspects of the business itself. It was not anymore operation, but now it was about number, about strategy, about structure, about leadership. That's why I say Dubai for me has been a blessing, because now I had the fire, and now I start to grow in skills, and that's where I start to see a different version of me. But of course, there's always been a party element associated with that. I always like to have a proper good party. I think Dubai, it does offer a good nightlife scene. It does it.
I know you've been working on your business for 3 years. So what even got you into thinking about going into fashion?
This is, so now that you know the full story, so I always had, in my personality element, a very great sense of style. My father's side, they are in the craft of the leathers. My mother's side, some of the brothers, they are in the fashion industry, tailor, shoes maker. I've always been around this. Next to my house, walking minutes, maybe 8 minutes, there is a fashion and art school that I could go to, but I decided to go hospitality. I had to wake up at 6 a.m. to go. Fashion has always been around me. Fashion has always been inside me. I always said that, distinctive style. I like to pair color and color, always, a little more. I mean, for instance, you see the suit that I'm wearing now. I never be the guy that would wear blue, gray, always a nice stripe, colorful, different match. Always with a good sense of style, with the keeping into the basic.
What made you think, I'm going to go into this now, after years and years in hospitality?
I tried 2017. When I came to Dubai, again, everybody around me always point the fact that I had a great style and I should start a fashion brand. I never discovered and knowing into myself, people around me start to highlight the fact that, hey, you should think of this, you should think. So I had a partner in 2017, was a local gentleman. We put the idea together. We want to start this fashion brand. I meet a producer. She started to give me a list of details that I had no clue. Buttons, label, packaging, storage, million. I was like, wait a second, no. This is too much out of my comfort zone. I want to still dress good, but not at this stage. Yeah? Anyway, so this was 2017. I still pursuing the whole branding, fashion element, growing to knowledge, the tailoring part, difference between an handmade, commercial suit, leather good, different fabric, study. This was part of my personal development itself.
So sorry, just to stop you there. So you found out about what you needed to do to start a fashion brand, was like, this is too much.
Yeah.
So you decided to study and understand before you went into it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Great.
I wanted to start. I knew that I wanted to start, but like everything, and also because don't forget, I know the only thing I know was hospitality. So for me to say I'm gonna jump out of hospitality after 15 years in the industry, I'm gonna jump out of hospitality and open something that I don't know about it, a proper jump in the dark. I want to take a risk, but I want to take a calculated risk. Yeah. I don't want to just jump. We're going to open a fashion brand without knowing the basic, which eventually I started to do while I was working, and I opened a fashion business account on Facebook. Then I opened the first name was Mr. Nice, because in Amsterdam they call me Mr. Nice. Then it got fade away. I joined another company. I got busy again, until with pandemic. Yeah. So I recently posted something on LinkedIn. I think it was about 30 million business born in the period of pandemic. Yeah,
makes sense.
Big stats. Yeah, because everybody were at home. Yeah. Now there was not anymore. Oh, I don't have time. No, we have time. There was a lot of time.
Everyone was baking or something,
banana bread and all this sort of stuff. Yeah. So I had the time. I said, okay, that's great. So where we start? Good thing for me. I always been part of project. restaurant, so I know what is needed to open a restaurant, what's the strategy behind, what the list of items we need to have. I start to apply pretty much the same principle towards the brand and what I wanted to do. But
So
then
actually, is there a lot of transferable skills then? Because I think you wouldn't think about that.
Okay, so the business itself, as you run a business in the industry of the hospitality industry, you can also, I think, apply the same principle there. So, the cost, payroll, controlling expenses, allocating asset, allocating expenses, allocating, revenue, understand net profit, all this sort of stuff. This is very easy transferable to a different industry. What I miss the other side was, okay, here I have the craft of the food, of the product, of the recipe, how to explain. How do I then convert this now into the fashion? So I had to go back to the basic on, what I wanted to do. I want to do a fashion brand. Okay, but which fashion brand? What I love the most. I love suit is my favorite thing. I have maybe 50, 60. I don't even know anymore. I don't want to count. I don't want to count anymore. But this is my thing. So I love suit. I love everything about the structure. Why this and that? So why here there is no structure? Why here there is a different sleeve? Why here there is different cut? So how can we do this? How can we do that? And then nobody sees this. People think one day I wake up and I say, oh, we're going to open a fashion brand. I study at the back. At the back, there was a lot of effort that you put without always going out and say, hey, I'm doing this, which eventually is an enemy. Because I think what I noticed that through social media, we have a tendency to invite people in what we are doing. But we don't know that this is affecting us because it's putting a heavy expectation. And it's also compromise eventually a little bit your own fire and motivation, because now you put yourself at the mercy of many others that can comment on your idea or your plan that you eventually think to start, and you end up never starting. You end up never launching. You end up always say, okay, coming soon, coming later, launching soon, because you miss a substance. Social media is the last step you should do when you want to open a business. The last thing you do. Again, I learned with the restaurant, I learned with other, my best friend is a marketing, branding, savvy specialist, the best on the industry, because she's my best friend. So I learned a lot from her. But
because she's also the best.
Yeah, she's the best, 100%. But I learned a lot from her, and I think the sharing the knowledge on both sides has always been a very good element for me to, then take a step and try, okay, Tara told me that I need to focus on tone of voice, the message, your core value, what you stand for, what you're actually doing, who you're going to sell to, who is your target audience, where you go, how you go. These are the skills that I had to, for food is different. Everybody's hungry. Everybody wants to have a burrito or pizza. For fashion is different. So you need to have a different approach. And
how important do you think, you taking a step back and studying it was to, where you are today with it? Because I guess some people have the view that, if you don't just get started, you might never start. But it seemed as if you had the view of actually, we'll get started, but actually the start is actually doing the research.
Oh, yeah. No, the decision was made. 2017, I made the decision. I want to start. And somebody scared me away with all those details that I didn't know. It put me in a position where I either go back completely and close myself in hospitality. I say, okay, good. There is a good amount of things that I don't know, and I don't want to look like a fool to launch. Just jump. Let's jump. No, I don't want to look like a fool because I don't want to look like a fool. There is no other explanation, right? So the decision was made. I start a fashion brand, and then by the time we reach pandemic, I already start to have everything pretty much planned. Pandemic was the moment where I sat and I said, okay, that's good now. Also was a big propelling me towards the opening business, the way I think hospitality industry move and articulate in pandemic. I joined the year before 2019. I joined a big project in September, relaunch, big party. I hired 11 people. 11 people during the pandemic. These are the first people I had to fire, and the reason they give me is like, we need to let them go. And I was like, why do they need to go? Europe, they are closed, everything is closed, but we need to let them go. And I was like, do I want to work for a company that at the moment it's a top one worldwide, hospitality, hotel, family, we are a family. No, we are not family. Trust me, we are not family. What I saw that happen, This was not how family move and behave. So this was last drop that make me say, okay, that's great. So I need to escape the industry in a way that I want to do. I want to do in style. I don't want to do again like all my clients, they in the restaurant, they are my clients today. So why do I need to leave an hospitality industry just to say, hey, we go for it. This is toxic mentality to have, because this comes from a lot of noise that social media offered to people, right? You need to go, yeah, of course, I understand, start. Take risk. That's my suggestion, is take risk, but take calculated risk, especially when you don't know an industry, because I didn't know the industry. So for me, taking a risk was like, okay, I shoot myself straight away. I'm not where I'm going, you know? So, yeah.
You've had this fire in your stomach from a kid, and the fire lives on. But you said something earlier about your mum telling you just to have faith. And I guess you have been having faith in yourself, taking calculated risks, but also having faith. And I want to kind of lean into the faith part. So your mom telling you all those years ago just to have faith, and then you obviously landed the opportunity to come to Dubai, and now you're continuing to have faith. And I know you've come a lot closer to your faith now. So how have you become closer to God and into Christianity and found faith in that way?
Great question. You saw my life has always been a great up and down and changing, adjusting, relaunching, reproposing. I think has been I always felt that I missed something in my life. Any place that I went, anything that I went through, I always felt that I missed something. My mother is an evangelic. My grandmother was an evangelic. My grandfather was an evangelic. So in the family, we had a little bit of knowledge about the Christianity world, but I never pursue. And either my mother pushed me so much to pursue, but she always, prayed for me. She always, tried to, educated me and share things of the faith. Until last year, I think I reached a point in my life where I really start to question everything that happened. And I was like, what is it?
What happened to make you question?
No, there was one more experience in my life where, I had to go somewhere, reset, settle in, and then start again. But it seems like it's a pattern that keep on coming back. But each time getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And I think, for my understanding, I think sometimes pain is what God used to call you to attention. Pain is a very big thing in Christian faith, I would say. Pain, they say, is the megaphone of God, where God is calling you to attention. And I think my lifestyle has always been a little bit chaotic in general. I needed God. I need God. And I think last year, I reached a point where I was like, man, what is it? Why is always like this? Why is always this fire? Why is always this anger? Why is always this that I want to go? And you feel like you're shooting in the darkness sometimes. So through friends, she suggested me a church in Jebel Ali. I went there the first Sunday. I was like, what's happening here? I don't know anything about, I don't know, how church functioning. I don't know, what is a sermon. There was a lot of things that I didn't know. Somebody introduced himself to me. Start to ask me questions, what led me there, all this sort of, I felt like there was a lot of love that coming to me for nothing, for free. I was like, why there is all this love that comes to me? Then they invite me on a Tuesday. We do a small group where, we meet in a week with other, Christians, and then we discuss the sermon of the Sunday, which I still do every Tuesday. And then that's it. I was like, during the week, from the first time I went and the second time I went, during the week, I was like, I'll start to pray. And I was like, God, what is it? What is it? I don't know. I don't know where to go. I don't know, what is the Bible? I don't know all the story. I don't know anything. And then I remember the following Sunday I went, the sermon was about the Gospel of John. And the message was, truly, truly, I say to you, you must be born again. And this was the thing that brought me to faith, because I was like, I left the church and I was like, okay, now I understand what was, is God never want to fix me or never want to, put anything on me. God want to renew me. I had to leave everything at the back, or all the darkness that I accumulated in all those years. And I think the work God did on my heart has been huge. Like I don't even recognize myself anymore. My friends around me, like they don't even recognize myself and say, "Hey, we know you. We know you. I know you. I part with you. I know how you move. I know how you act. You're not the same." And then, thanks to God, this was not my last personal development course. This was not my last book, not my last podcast. This has nothing to do with my own thing, my own strength. This was the time where I let my strengths go and let God take control over the life. Yeah.
And how has now that you've got you're walking with God and you've got God in your life, how has that manifested in, I guess, your business? Has that had an impact on the direction that your business has gone?
Yeah, look, I think it's funny. God providence. I don't think I ever miss any single day of the providence of God, even though in the darkness, right? Even though I was far away from God, I never miss anything. I do think that business require an amount of faith in general, strong enough. But I think I'm pretty much at peace. I'm not. It's not a peace that lead me to anxiety. It's not a contest that lead me to anxiety, but it's a peace that lead me to a comfort, because I know that in a way or the other, God will provide. God will show up, But the mistake I don't want to make is then to use God as a sort of vending machine. Because then what happens is, when things go wrong, because things will go wrong, Christianity doesn't mean that things won't go wrong. Christianity means that I have faith in a God that take care of me, but also forgive me for my sin and change my heart. Make me want to love Him, make me want to love people around me, but then eventually doesn't guarantee me that I'll be a millionaire. I think God is not a vending machine that when things go wrong, you go and cry to God and say, "Hey, things are wrong." When things don't go wrong, sometimes we are the fault. We are the same fault. If you analyze it correctly, you know that there is an amount of your responsibility that eventually, when God was trying to say, "Hey, maybe don't involve me into this decision, put me into this business plan," and we decide to reject God, we decide not to listen to God, that's where things happen. But 100%, I think business is good. From last year, I didn't expect to be this good. I do have a good amount of clients during my hospitality work, and I start to slowly take with me. I partnered originally with a tailor. The guys try to joke me a little bit, so I changed the dynamic. We took a workshop. I have now a partner. I have a master tailor. There is me that I learn how to cut. I have one guy that does only trousers, one guy that does only shirts. We're looking eventually to create a concept store where it won't. I never like to be seen as a tailor, more as a stylish, more as a designing, more as a creative mind behind the fashion. And there is few things that they come together actually in the next few months. So I'm looking forward to launch this new season.
So do you on the suits and stuff? Do you create your own suits, or do you design suits, or are you more kind of you find someone and then you style them and you source the suits from?
No. We start from scratch, from zero. Yeah. So the dynamic of work is very simple. So I come to you. We discuss eventually. You told me that you have a wedding, right? So I presume then we understand the style of the wedding. Where is the wedding? The location, the color. If there is any sort of dress code. I have an amount of fabric at the moment. Maybe you hold more than 2,000. I would say more or less different color, fabric, texture, pattern, brand, also quality, entry level, up level, extra premium, super premium, extra luxury.
Sorry,
one more.
I'm smirking because I've seen the reels that you make, and honestly, you need to go on his Instagram and watch his reels. I can just sit there and just laugh because I just love the way that you do them.
Yeah, no, I like to showcase the personality behind. I like tailoring. Sometimes can result a little boring. Everybody with this style, with the same things. I think
you're definitely not making it boring.
Yeah, I think it's much more fresh. It's much more should be much more fresh. So yeah, the process is this. Now we do a trial. There is depend what is the process we want to go. Usually it's 1-2 trial, depend on the construction of the suit. And then that's it. We choose button. I work only with specific. So I want to put myself a little, I'm not say higher. And to be honest, I don't care. I don't really enjoy the word luxury a lot, especially in Dubai. Everything is about luxury, money, million. Sometimes it's about quality. Yeah. And I want to offer good quality product. I want to explain why it's good quality. I want to give you the difference between this and this. Why I put this button and no other button. Why my brand is different. Did I came up with the suit of the century? No, man. Suit is a suit. There is 3 styles that we can focus on. There is an Italian style, there is an American style, and there is a British style. These are the codificator of the tailoring industry. Now, Napolitan, they do something a little more. Center of Italy like this. British, they have different construction. American, they have different fit. But there is not much you can do. Yeah, you can do oversize, you can do fit the size. But so that's why it's good to play with the fabric, with texture, with the color, with the button, with details, accessory, construction of suit, very light, premium.
So you've had this fire in your stomach your whole life. It's taken you from country to country. It's given you career transition. It's helped you to find what you felt like was missing in your life, which was God. What advice do you have to give to the listeners about what can keep fire in their stomach or amplify the fire in their stomach to be able to get whatever it is in this world that they want?
I will say by pick up what I said at the beginning. Don't stop. Don't stop, because even if you maybe need to slow down a little more, but don't stop, because it's about the longevity of things. If I stopped back in 2017, by now I was not a business owner. By now, we didn't own workshop with a team and start to build something that, for me, I see the vision. I saw the vision. Now I see much more clear. So I think it's good to have a great plan. It's good to have a strategize. It's good to have the knowledge, yes. But then when you start, you don't stop. That means in all the area, look at your business. Don't think the social media is a business. Remove this idea. Your business is system, your business is structure, your business is value, what you offer, and how at service of people you are. When you have those things, solid fundamental pillar, then you can go out. But I think you should never stop. You should always review, analyze, change, twist, move, Then it's depend on the industry. I find it very helpful for me. I saw many other people apply the same thing. I'm with the group of people that say, no, you don't stop. You just go for it. It's about longevity. Nothing happening. A lot can happen in 6 months, but nothing of substantial value happen when you want to build something that's going to last forever. Everybody talking about this generation. Okay. Generation means that you need to manage to bring your business to your next generation that is going to grow to the next generation. If you don't have the strong pillar, fundamental now, you're not going to make it. But don't never stop. That's to go back. Never stop.
Yeah.
Keep going. Yeah. No. That's Emmanuel. It's a great story that you've had. I guess starting off in Italy and being pushed into hospitality and then completely transforming and now being in the fashion industry. I guess a final question I just want to ask is how does it compare? Before you were working for someone, there were rules and there was a structure in place, and now, I guess, running your own business, perhaps there maybe isn't as much of a structure in place. You might one day, like for example, today you're shooting a podcast, and tomorrow you might be meeting a client or securing a new client, etc. How does the two compare, and which do you prefer?
Priceless freedom on one side, the fact that you make a call, you make a decision, you make a plan, you make your own schedule. This is priceless. I think you gain a lot of, I won't say time, because I'd be naive if I say, I manage my time, I have a good balance. It's not good balance. We run a business. Which balance are we talking about?
Yeah.
My Diwa balance, my Empower balance. We need to, you leave the security of a good pot at the end of the month that can base all your life around, the golden calf. And now you don't have. So every day is a faithful war. I think it's priceless. The energy is different. The drive is different. But again, you are the owner of yourself. So means you really, you can decide eventually how far you want to go, how fast you want to go, how slow you want to go. But then you're going to have result about it. So if you decide to take, a little bit of time. If you decide to go a little more slow, if you decide to not be coordinated, to don't have a proper schedule, you're gonna pay. You don't pay at the beginning, but you're gonna pay at the end. Little fold of hands, a little slip there and there, and poverty came like a robbed man. Bible say, Bible wisdom. Yeah. So I'll never go back. I'll never go back. Yeah, that's the idea. There has been my best month, praise the Lord. My lowest month, praise the Lord. But again, the providence has been there, and I think there is a drive that is different. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody at all, because I think some of the night, I personally, stay in the bed and you start to think, okay, what's happening now? Especially this was my first full summer in Dubai, where my first thing from January actually has been grow. Who's gonna do a suit in summer? Who's gonna do a suit in summer? Like, you live with this every single day, and it doesn't matter, how far you go, but doesn't matter how good also you do at the moment. You have these thoughts that project you always in 3-4 months down the line, that can cause you a little bit, I'll say, anxiety, a little bit of paranoia, fear, worried. But praise the Lord. Not a single month that, we didn't manage to bring home the result. August was a little crunchy, but again, great crunchiness. It was okay. It was no traffic. It was no meeting that were fast, speed. That, again, this is where, you manage your time well. But again, I never stopped to put myself out there in terms of content. I always produce content. If the business is not super that, we do those 3, 4, 5, 6 meetings a day, this means at the time that, can go back to the office and check, okay, so what we do now? How's my brand book? Still okay? Do we change something? Is my tone of voice okay? Do I talk okay? Let me analyze a little bit of content. Let me go on the other platform. Let me plan this. And there is always something to do. It's like, there's always something to do. So if you're not busy, probably do something that is not right. Yeah.
No,
as a business owner, I guess.
Yeah.
No, Emmanuel, it's been great having you on the show.
Really great,
Thank
honestly.
you so much for coming. We have a tradition in our show where we ask an exit question. We ask all the guests this question, and the question is, if you could introduce one rule for everyone in the world to follow, what would it be and why?
I'll say love one another with a little more love in the word. There's a lot of jealousy. There is a lot of I think as humanity, we move a little, I don't want to push the God thing. I would love to push to everybody, to be honest. But I would say the first commandment is love God. But then the second commandment is love one another as I have loved you. I think we all need this love because, we all been hating each other for no reason. And we just here to live for a very short amount of time. So be loving and love one another. That's the best I can say. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Nice. Love that.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
Amazing.
You've been great.